Hello and welcome everyone to Chartwise Women with Erin, Swenlin, and Mary Ellen McGonagle. Welcome to our Thursday, July 29th, 2021 Chartwise Women show. Mary Ellen and I are here to educate, engage, and of course, most importantly, empower you to take control of your investments. And Mary Ellen, I am so excited for today's show. I don't know about you.
Oh,
How's
yes.
everything going?
It's going great. Yep. My son is in town from San Francisco and always a delight. He and his girlfriend and gets me in the swimming pool and other activities more often than I would otherwise. So quite
There
nice.
you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, it's been so warm here. Absolutely. The air conditioner keeps running and running and running. It's terrible, but
Oh boy.
got to keep cool.
That's it. You're right. Keep those dogs cool too.
All right. So today's theme is never have I ever. I don't know. I've been watching this go around Facebook, and I'm shocked when I answer the questions because I've done a lot of things that I didn't think were that special. But I have some answers to these that might surprise you, and I can't wait to find out your answers to some of these. Basically, we're going to go through certain subjects, and we're going to say, never have I ever done this or that, and then we have some stocks that we can look at that have something to do with what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get started.
Very good.
Yes, we will start with our wisdom of the week. And this is something I know we've talked about a little bit before, but for me, one of the things that I think is important is to invest in what you value. You know, some of those stocks that, maybe they fill a need that you are behind. It could be anything from genomics to there's just so many different ones, airlines or cruises, because you value cruises, but really you want to make sure you value your analysis as well and look at the charts.
Yes, and there is a lot of a movement toward people that want, whether it's clean air, clean environment, or other values as well, they can invest, ESG investing. But my wisdom of the week is the second one there, and it's talking about if you purchase stocks in areas that you're familiar with. And I'm often reminded of the time Bill O'Neill, the founder of Investors Business Daily years ago, when Costco, I believe it was called Price Club at the time, he happened to drive by, noticed the parking lot was packed, and went back, did some work, and it was a big winning stock for him. So you can simply simplify your trading down to that level whether a lot of physicians are very familiar with medical related stocks and so forth. So that can help improve your confidence to stay with the stock if you know that area well.
Absolutely. So let us get started. Never have I ever stood someone up. I don't know about you. I've not actually stood someone up, but I have tried to sneak out the back way on a bad date. So I seriously looked in the bathroom, and unfortunately there was no window, there was no back door. So I had to go back and talk to this guy about aliens. It was
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Yeah, I have not stood anyone up, but you're reminding me, my now husband, our very first conversation 30 years ago was about space way stations. And I recall going to the restroom, and another gentleman stopped me and said, "Space way stations, really?" He was my husband.
Very similar to what my date was like.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, we talk crop circles, those kind of things. All right. So
Okay, what stocks
do we have here?
Yeah, so we can take a quick look at Bumble. The ticker symbol is BMBL. I'm going to have you take a look at it here. And it is a stock, or actually a company, that is all about matching individuals with their dating, but it is female first. Women make the first move with this. It's very similar to Tinder with the swipe right, swipe left. And if you match, there is a 24-hour window when you need to reply or else it goes away. But Bumble does make money by if you upgrade your subscription, you can extend your match so that you don't have to get back within that 24-hour window. They also have a video and chat features. The chart looks quite constructive. It's now broken back above the shorter term simple moving averages. You're not quite there with the momentum yet. The RSI is kind of waffling around in positive territory, but not this kind of straight up action here. And the MACD just had that positive crossover, black line up through the red. We're looking for that to trade up above that net neutral 0, again, with an eye toward to capturing this type of an uptrend.
Yeah, actually, I see a little reverse head and shoulders there, so it could be an interesting one.
Yeah, setting up quite nicely.
All right, so I have actually a restaurant that I'm going to share here, and that is Texas Roadhouse. And really looking at restaurants and bars, there weren't that many selections that I was really pleased with. This one actually has some promise. It's been pretty much, as you say, Mary Ellen, kind of a go nowhere type of stock, but we could be looking at a possible breakout here. We've got the momentum coming in. You can see that we have a really nice scooter value going on. So, I kind of like this one. And, I figured in the restaurant bar area, since I was in a bar when I tried to escape. So what's up next, Mr. Producer?
Yes.
Never have I ever broken a bone. I've actually broken my little toe 3 times.
Oh boy.
Once with, stubbing it, but the other times, believe it or not, doing yoga.
Oh my. Yeah, and I guess if you break that bone, you really any of your toes, you just have to kind of sit it out, right?
Yes. With that one, yeah, there's no like putting a cast on or even taping it up. You just have to let it go. And not so comfortable there, I have to say. It took a while before I could get back to yoga.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, well, I can share a stock that is related to that. I have not broken a bone, by the way. Actually, a toe when I was younger. I don't know why I feel like that doesn't count. Playing Chinese jump rope, got a little carried away there. So, but other than that, no bone breakage. So good on that front. Myself.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh, but I'm going to share with you a stock. It's certainly the name is related. It's JYNT and Joint. This is a company that is actually chiropractic. They own a number of chiropractic locations throughout the US. This big gap up here is when the stock was added to the Russell 2000 index, but we can see it's held up remarkably well following that. So when you see stocks, and this is going to relate to earnings season now, we are seeing this where stocks gap up on news on tremendous volume. Again, earnings would be relevant at this juncture. Oftentimes, the stock will mark time until that 10-day moving average catches up to it. And then ideally, it will then continue into an uptrend. At this time, we are in a period of consolidation. It's had a significant move here from 55 up to 90. So definitely do a pullback, a setup, ideally for another leg up, similar to the dynamics here.
Awesome. I have one that actually I shared with my subscribers this past week, and that is Hologic. It did report earnings. I believe it was today. That would make sense if we get this big pop, or maybe it was 2 days ago. I can't remember which one, but I really liked this stock. We had the nice cup and handle. We got a good breakout, and we had this golden cross of the 50 and 200. My only concern would be that it is getting a little on the overbought side. But other than that, I think the stock looks fairly good and could move up higher. It's a medical supply company. So I know that I think Edward Life Sciences was another one. I might have that.
Oh, that's been a big winner for my subscribers. And I actually own the stock. We picked it up on that pullback in May into June.
Oh, very nice. And it's just increasing in the steepness of its rising trend. Nice breakout. This one was on my stocks to review this week. I ended up picking Hologic, but this one still looks pretty good. All right, never have I ever. What's next? Paid for a gym membership and missed 2 months. Admittedly, I've done that really for this past year.
Oh my goodness. Well, of course you're locked in
for months.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's just maybe one of those things, become a member and you're just going to get fit. Doesn't matter.
Right. I can recall when I lived in Manhattan, there was a gym that I joined. It was a doorman building and it was right off the lobby. And I still just couldn't quite manage to get there.
Yeah, mine's about 3 minutes away, I think.
Oh my
with
gosh.
the heat, you'd think I would get over there, but not so much. I think
All right.
we only had one of the stocks there. Did you have Planet Fitness or shall I bring it up?
Oh, yeah. I actually had Peloton as well. That has been kind of made over. It's the new version of the workout area because people purchase the bikes and then they have their favorite instructors that they can then work out with. So a big popular item here during the lockdown phase. They're struggling a bit now. Currently, they did have supply issues and otherwise, but it is super popular. We're going to need to see some growth to push that stock higher. So let's go ahead and I'll pull up Planet Fitness as well.
That one's looking pretty healthy, actually.
Yeah, it actually is. So.
Yep, I like the look of that, the breakout above the 50, 200, a lot of that going on. And then the positive momentum is also pretty good there.
Right. Yeah, a little more volume would be really helpful to convince me that this stock was going to power higher. But interesting because, yeah, the gyms, well, out here in LA, they're mandating masks indoors and things are starting to tighten up a bit, but perhaps down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, never have I ever hitchhiked. Now, I have to say, my mom scared the heck out of me, so I never did it. But what about you?
Well, I did on two separate occasions. This is when I was a lot younger. I was with a friend. I feel ever so foolish now, but it was prior to either of us having a driver's license, and we just had places to go. Both times didn't end well. I mean, yeah. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but one time the person that picked us up locked all the doors. And basically it was their way of saying, look, this is dangerous. And we definitely sat up after that one. I mean, we were allowed out of the vehicle, but it was that moment of, you're right. This is foolish. Oh my goodness.
Well, I have a great chart here. I tend to look at Ford a lot just because the symbol is F and my F key is kind of heavy when I type. So I usually end up looking at Ford almost every single day.
That is
and
so
I
funny.
was really excited to see it today because we're really starting to see a turnaround here. You can see again, sort of a reverse head and shoulders shaped up here. Declining trend has been broken. We've got my PMO is turning up above the 0 line. And of course, the RSI is just now getting positive. So
yeah, Ford came out with some great numbers today. They surprised to the upside. There were concerns about semiconductor chip shortages impacting, but they came through. So yeah, nice pop today on Ford. We can also maybe take a look here at Tesla very quickly. GM, they're all rallying today on Ford's news. But let's take a look. Tesla did report earnings earlier this week. They were not anything dramatic. The stock really just sat out. But today it's seeing a nice pop. It's up 5% on the day, big volume. It's helping to push these momentum indicators up. So we can see currently it's poised to break out of this base. So any move above 700, look for further upside here on Tesla.
Excellent. So I have to say, the next never have I ever, I think is pretty interesting. Looked through a partner's phone. Oh, I have to say, I recently did with my husband's phone. It wasn't like I was going in there looking for like evidence for anything, but I happened to be on there because he got a text and I was kind of curious, who it was from. And it wasn't that I didn't trust him. It was
Cu-
just, there was news.
Curiosity
There was
killed the
news.
cat.
We were waiting for news about something and I saw that there was a text on it. I just couldn't wait before he came in. How about
Oh my
you?
goodness. No, I have not. It just hasn't occurred to me. So I'm yeah, just not something I've ever done or
Well,
um,
I've never known how to get into a partner's phone until now.
mhm,
So
mhm.
not that I think it's not a regular occurrence, I promise.
No, 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 no. I kind of think you're asking for trouble maybe if you start going down that route.
Yes,
Oh my gosh. So
absolutely.
we're looking at Nokia here.
Yes, which is looking also pretty good right now. You can see another gap up going on here, broke out
Mhm.
above this short-term area of resistance at $6. I've got a PMO that is turning up above its signal line.
Yeah.
RSI is getting a little overbought, but overall, I think Nokia is looking pretty interesting. Just remember, it is a low price stock, so be sure to
Yeah.
position size properly.
Well, they had earnings today. They came in 60% year-over-year earnings growth, 120% above estimates. So that gap up on big volume, we talked about the base breakout. It did do that as well. So depending on the broader markets, we could see more upside here with Nokia.
Yeah, I do like this chart.
I don't, and then I was just going to pull up. We can't leave the phone conversation without pulling up Apple. The company crushed earnings with their iPhone 12 sales were just way ahead of anyone's estimate, but the stock has pulled back. They were not so positive as far as going forward. Their guidance, they felt they could see a slowdown. So the stock is really languishing here, but finding support at that upward trending 21-day simple moving average. I'm going to suggest that this is one of the MEM Edge report stocks. We've had a nice run up that we could see further consolidation here as the stock sets up because there are other growth drivers for the company as they continue to advance with newer products.
Excellent. All right, here's one that I definitely am guilty of. Never have I ever. Yes, I have spent 5+ consecutive hours on social media. It was a Saturday, so don't worry,
And
guys.
it was raining, right?
It was raining. No, it actually wasn't, but it
Oh,
was one of those things, sometimes you just get sucked in.
oh
I
yeah.
just got
Yep.
sucked into a bunch of different things, including what's going on with my friends and events. So I don't know. I'm going to look at Facebook, and I have to say, I'm not really thrilled with the Facebook chart right now, but I'm sure you have some information that you can give us on Facebook.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they came out with numbers and they also talked about they weren't very optimistic about growth going forward. They did have exceptional ad sale improvement increases, record quarter, but the stock is dropping again due to their outlook going forward as far as a potential slowdown.
Yeah, they're going to want to hold this particular area of support here at those June, July tops. And right now it's not looking so good. And there's that gap too. So if we start seeing that gap covered, it could be a test of that 50-day EMA again, I would think. How about you?
Yeah. I think we would need to see that hold there, and it's just keep an eye on that. I'm going to very quickly share a stock related to binge watching. I did have a show that I watched just every evening. It takes place in Ireland. It's called Smother, and the scenery was just exceptional. We're looking at Roku, of course, technology that allows you to watch any number of different platforms, streaming and otherwise. Roku is due to report their earnings next in 2 weeks, but we can see this nice breakout here pulling back. This is due to Snapchat's strong ad sales and other internet related stocks. So yeah, I think we need to take a brief break here and
Absolutely. And we'll
mm,
come back. We have quite a few others to talk about. Again, curious what your answers are. And we are back with our Never Have I Ever. And this one was pretty interesting to me. Never have I ever helped a friend set up a dating profile. I almost did. She was ready to do it and then she chickened out. And so we didn't do it. But how about you?
I did. I helped a friend. This is probably about 5 years ago, and she was interested in getting back into. She'd been divorced for quite some time, waited for her children to find their way, so to speak, and was ready to jump in. I think Plenty of Fish was the one I'm trying to recall, but I do know that we can pull up Match.com because that particular company owns 45 dating app platforms. I watched vicariously. It did not look like a very fun exercise. She only lasted, I think, a couple of months, and
Well,
threw in the towel.
that story about trying to leave a bar, that was a Match.com date. So
Oh, yeah.
but it's looking, I mean, it's kind of been, again, not really doing much, but hanging around in a trading zone. Looks like we might be seeing some improvement here. RSI still positive, and you can see that the momentum is trying to shift higher. The volume seems to be coming in okay here with a positive divergence between price lows and on balance volume. That tells you that there's some interest going on under the surface. So could be interesting.
And they're due to report next Wednesday. So it's going to be all about subscribership. They're in over 190 countries, very global, and people are going to want to see an improvement. Also upgrades to what's called their gold membership that allows access to multiple brands, if you will. So it's setting up nicely. If they come out with some good numbers next Wednesday, we could see this trade higher.
All right, next one up, Never Have I Ever. And I think, come on now, I think almost everybody is guilty of this one, regifting a present. And I've done that for white elephants, where you bring just something you already have. But I've actually regifted something else because I already had it. And so I decided to pass it along to somebody else.
Will they be watching the show, or would you rather not?
No. I don't have to worry about that. And I won't give away anything about what it was either, because
yeah, I think we've all given away a candle or something of that nature, no doubt. Bottle of wine, of course, famous
bottles of wine. Yes,
regifting.
I'm guilty.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of that one. I've decided to pull up Etsy. This one has been kind of a darling for me over the years. Really, I picked this one years ago, and before it was still in like the $12 range or something like that. Of course, I got out of it at like $24. So looking at these numbers, I kind of wish I hadn't. But I think it's looking a little bit iffy right now with this double top that looks like it's coming together. Yes, we still have a positive RSI, but you can see that momentum once again shifting to the downside.
Yeah, they're also due next Wednesday as well. They were a big pandemic winner as far as starting out with the mask and then expanding, and they've really grown their popularity. So I'm going to be very interested to see if their sales have continued to improve. Of course, we're not quite there yet as far as the holiday period, but keep an eye on that one.
Yes. All right, next one up. Never have I ever missed a flight. Have you?
Oh my goodness, yes. Unfortunately, more than once. And in fact, I've gone so far as to book a flight. I was over in Europe on business. I show up at the airport and they told me, "Oh, your flight's not until tomorrow." Oh man, I was traveling with a business associate, and boy, did I have to pay through the nose for that mistake. But yeah, always.
Yes, I did actually for, it was not our honeymoon, but it was a different flight. But we got there, it was all ready. We were really early, got my passport out, opened it up, and the smiling face looking back at me was my daughter, not me. So we had to postpone and get the flight the next day and missed a whole day in London. That was really kind of a bummer. But
oh my goodness, I think probably everyone has a tale of travel woes, but always great once you get there. We can take a look at American Airline, or, oh no, maybe you have one. Go right
I
ahead.
have one and then we'll go to you, but Spirit Airlines is one that I've watched. They tend to do, once they're on a nice roll, they tend to keep going. Right now, I like that we're trying to reverse this trend, brand new PMO buy signal, but the RSI is negative and we still haven't gotten above that 20-day EMA. So for me, I would want to wait and watch this one for a little bit. How does American Airlines look?
Yeah, I think a number of the airlines are suffering. They're really having a tough time recovering from this travel concept where people are traveling and then different areas close down and they're unable to do so. So this is American Airlines, and we can see this. This is the hope as far as the reopening trade back here in May. And then, of course, we are unfortunately seeing COVID cases increase as far as the Delta variant and so forth. They did come out with numbers, surprised a little bit to the upside, but the stock is finding upside resistance here at this 50-day simple moving average. And you do have some nice momentum dynamics here on the MACD, but I think there are just so many other healthier areas of the market that you can enjoy and benefit from, that I would not be inclined to look at airline stocks in general, really.
Yeah, they need some work, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up. Never have ever watched an entire TV series in one day. I almost did. It was back when there was on Netflix, Orange is the New Black. I watched almost the entire season in one day.
Isn't that funny? And I tried watching it. I got into it that first season, but I found it to be a little too heavy. I can't do heavy shows, horror. It just impacts me too much. So I had to step away. But it did have some good drama, that's for sure.
All righty. So I know we looked at Roku, but I think you had Disney. That would be an interesting one with their new Disney Plus service.
You bet. Let's take a quick look at that. Here is a chart of Disney. We can see it had this big gap up here and subsequently has pulled back. Disney has reopened their parks. In fact, my oldest daughter went on Sunday. They are limiting the number of people that can enter, however, but she claimed it was a wonderful time. But of course, Disney does have their streaming. You mentioned Disney Plus. It has made it into the roundup, or actually schedule here at our home for some of their great shows. And we can see that it is struggling a bit here at this the moving averages. The RSI, MACD are positive, but just struggling a bit, not ready for prime time quite yet.
Oh my goodness, we are already out of time. We have 30 more seconds. We had 2 more questions, so I'm just curious your answer. Never have I ever eaten an entire box of cookies in one sitting. I have.
Oh my goodness, no, I couldn't even. I had a roommate once who would eat an entire sleeve of Oreos, and I just couldn't believe it.
And then I did get somebody else's order from Amazon, and we did end up keeping it. I'm embarrassed to say.
Well, yeah, I have not had that happen. My computer did go to my neighbor, but they gave it to me, so.
Well, that's good. It was really something small, so it was not like a giant order or anything.
Sure, not a Mac.
That's all we have. So happy trading.
We'll see you next week.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.